So good afternoon. After a little break, welcome back to the next session on the Horizon Infra 2021 Tech, interdisciplinary digital twins for modeling and simulating complex phenomena at the service of research infrastructure communities. In the beginning, I would like to highlight that, of course, the INFRATECH destination is of course wider than this one topic that we are presenting this year. So as you probably heard if you were following the morning sessions, this destination, the next generation of scientific instrumentation tools and methods and advanced digital solutions, so INFRATECH, is aiming to bring the groundbreaking RI technologies, of course, scientific instruments, but also other tools, methods, and advanced digital solutions for all the research infrastructures and to develop to the reach of European researchers in general. And as the current work program says, the proposals for topics under this destination should set out a credible pathway to contribute to one of the several following impact: the enhanced global competitiveness and technological excellence in Europe of looking for these instruments and tools for European RIs. Competence of European industry to co-development of with industrial actors and advanced research infrastructure technologies and technology transfer, opening up new areas of research and development of skills of RI staff and transdisciplinarity, cross-fertilization, and wider use of AI in research and enhanced database research across Europe. So the first call has a total budget of, we can go to the first slide. Very good. So the first call has a total budget of 28 million. And this is, the topic is actually divided in 2 years. So we have a total budget for the entire 2 years period, which is 36 million for the digital twins. So in the first year, we're calling for digital twins proposals at the level of 28 million. And then there's remaining 8 million euros still left for 22. For the call, which will be opened in 22, like the rest of the INFRATECH topics. So when we talk about interdisciplinary digital twins, of course, the digital twins, they've been around for a long time. They are being widely used in industry for modeling visualization purposes. But when we're talking about digital twins in simulating and modeling the complex phenomena that we are looking at, and from the research infrastructures community's perspective, of course, at this point, we are looking at something which goes a little bit beyond to simple visualization and 3D modeling of these phenomena. So the type of action here is research and innovation action again. The budget for the 21 topic is 28 million. And expected contribution per project is 3 to 5 million. I'm not sure if I made a mistake in this slide. Now I need to check if I have actually the correct number here. Sorry for that. I need to go. No, here actually I have, apologies for this. There's a mistake in this slide. I will correct it for the version that goes online. So the expected contribution for these digital twins from this call is not 3 to 5, but it's from between 9 and 12 million euros. Okay, so apologies for this. You know, the 3 to 5 should read 9 to 12 million euros. And there you can there you can see how many digital twins will be actually with digital twins projects will be approved. So at the higher end, we'll be doing well around 2 or 3 maximum. Why? Because it's not because of the reach of this to build a digital twin or the kind of service that is equivalent to digital twin that provides this observation and simulation and real-time fusion of the data. It's not a simple task, so it is something that requires quite a lot of effort. and therefore, the size of these projects is also relatively labor intensive. So again, the other conditions very important: the co-design approach within data user communities is required. And so let me go on to the next slide to continue more in detail about what the digital twins call is all about. Can I have the slide number 2, please? So in highlighting the context that we operate, we have research infrastructures. They have very advanced tools already at their disposal. However, the research infrastructures across Europe are not only thematically very diverse, but also in terms of size, also including the long tail of science. And in those sort of sometimes even individual laboratories or small groups of researchers, there is in the same way, the need for these kind of advanced tools as there is in a big science collaboration. So in general, to increase the availability of enabling complex simulations, particularly simulations that combine simulations with observations, with real-time data, and dealing with very large volumes of diverse data or from various and distributed sources is still a challenge. Therefore, we aim with this call to provide a new set of scientific instruments or service for the community, and to have these high quality digital twins across wide range of thematic applications available across Europe. Next slide, please. So the expected outcomes. Here we are operating in tier level, which the outcome would be finally tier level 6 or 7. So pre-operational prototypes of interdisciplinary digital twins. I'll explain the interdisciplinarity a little bit later. You'll be using a combination of the latest digital technologies that are relevant to address the challenges when multidisciplinarity is the defining element of complexity. So already providing a digital twin for one single community, it's not necessarily an easy task, but at the EU level, we'd like to reach a little bit higher, and in order to strengthen the multidisciplinarity and those tools that allow cross-disciplinarity, it's important to have this interdisciplinary nature of these digital twins embedded. So these latest modeling and prediction technologies should be then one of the outcomes in areas serving research communities widely and supporting the interoperability of data and software. The integration and collaboration across these scientific domains, disciplines, and across different research infrastructures, of course. We don't expect you to link all domains or the work program is quite specific. You're looking at the downstream integration of those adjacent scientific disciplines. But of course, it's again up to the proposers to define the challenge. Why a digital twin, interdisciplinary digital twin, would be making a difference for these scientific communities, and to build the proposal around that. So it's very important to provide also, this is why we're talking about high quality digital twins. So the digital twins would enable, of course, provide at the end a robust framework for enable the researchers to ensure that the quality, reliability, and verifiability of the data is ensured as part of the information and output of the digital twins. They should seek to the maximum the exploitation of the existing and new data made available through the common European data spaces and the data available through EOSC. Can I have the next slide, please? So the scope, co-design, very important. Again, for finding this converting traditional modeling with the increased amount of real-time data, which is currently quite difficult still, and in order to arrive at more accurate present state assessments and predictions. So you need the co-design approach in order to understand, because you need to have access to those converging, those traditional modeling, in order to then able to build on it and converge with the real-time data in order to have make an improvement for the current traditional modeling that the communities are dealing with. So within the scope, we want to have proposals that would develop more integrated systems and a consistent set also of standard methods and protocols in the area of, please note that these are two elements that should be in one single proposal, of model and data fusion for optimal synergy between observations and models, including provisions to include information from the entire digital continuum, and visualization of artificial intelligence-based knowledge generation from the spatial temporal information that digital twin is targeting. Very important is to develop the quality measures. We need to be able to rely on the information that we got from the digital twins. We need to be able to have trust on the models and the predictions. So therefore, the development of standard quality mapping and indicators are required in order to communicate the differences in qualities of inputs and outputs from digital twins. So the user should be able to understand of what level of reliability are they looking at. And you should also address issues such as data model pedigree, accuracy, and the lack of knowledge as well. So this is why we're saying that in this context, the challenge for these digital twins is relatively ambitious. We're not looking only at the visualization or simulation of data, but we're really looking at this improved quality and trustworthiness of the information and that these digital twins will generate. Can I have the next slide, please? So in addition to address the pertinent priority areas in an interdisciplinary manner, the proposal should also demonstrate that they actually are delivering a breakthrough in terms of accuracy and realism. So you need to be able to already at the proposal stage to explain your method of why would this be a breakthrough. What is the current state that the modeling and prediction of these communities are dealing with, and what is the next step that you're actually bringing in for making a big quality step forward. You should also demonstrate that you actually do fuse the operation, the observations and the models in optimal way. Explain the method also how you're getting there. Integrate the downstream sectors, as I said, at the source of the data production of those adjacent science sectors, and also include a rigorous handling of quality and confidence of information. So this is the trust and quality parts that I was already touching upon before. And then develop the capabilities of the new digital continuum to really enable communities to learn and update themselves from the data and information originating from different sources. So can I have the next slide, the last one? So as said, the work under this topic should really reach sufficiently high TRL level, 6 to 7 here, so that we could actually consider them for integration into operational activities. As you've seen from, if you were following in the session on EOSC before, we are looking at operationalization. Sorry, I've been talking for the whole afternoon, so might need to take some water. So operationalization of these activities and the digital twins, as they would contribute to this new operational landscape of that we are aiming to offer for the research infrastructures and the communities through the research infrastructures work program. They should be obviously quite mature at the end of the development, so that they could be integrated into the relevant existing research infrastructures, the EOSC platform, the platform which is in making and will be coming operational later, and in other related fields. Very important, the Digital Europe program, or digital program as it's called these days. There is a major endeavor of creating the digital twin of the Earth called Destination Earth Initiative, which will be funded through a contribution agreement between the Commission and operational entities in Europe. And part of those activities is really to bring this operational capacity of digital twins to the reach of even policymakers, not only researchers. So there are several digital twins application areas already under development. The Horizon Europe work program, last work programs from the previous, Horizon 2020 work program already funded. It is a call on digital twin of the ocean. There are several parts across the Horizon Europe work program, for example, in Cluster 5 on digital modeling, that are contributing all to this better capability of modeling our digital Earth, as we call it, in terms of, for example, areas of climate adaptation, extreme weather events, oceans, and other parts that would complete the picture of digital twin of the Earth. So there is the link to Destination Earth. Obviously, here we're talking mainly really tools for the research communities. So therefore, we want to highlight this development that is happening and the synergy with the digital program and the Destination Earth, and you can have more information about it on the web page before, if you're not familiar with it yet. So this concludes the initial presentation. And I'm sorry, I think I did forget, of course, in the beginning to say that there is the Slido session. If you want to ask questions, you have access to the Slido from the main page of where you're looking at this, watching this show. There's a QR code, so I see there is currently one question. If you allow me to drink a little bit of water, I could directly go into the first one and only question we have currently, which is it necessary for the research infrastructure of European interest to have a legal structure and be a beneficiary in the project? Beneficiaries in the project need to have a legal structure, legal entity. So you cannot be a member of a consortium without legal entity. However, as this digital twins action is very much related to, and the consortium itself needs to demonstrate how it will co-design these digital twins together with the community, meaning that not everybody needs to be in the consortium. So in the case of many of these structures in Europe, which are not properly these research infrastructures, or legal entities as such, but there are really many, like the science clusters of that have been funded even under relevant projects. We know that they don't have legal entity; they are legal entities of their members, but they should be, for the relevance of the project. Of course, if you're aiming, for example, the climate community or another community, it would be relatively incredible probably to have a consortium without any direct participation of any legal entity that is already undertaking work in this area. However, as I said, the consortium should be a little bit also thinking out of the box, of thinking what is the co-design procedure, how are they going to put it in place, and how can they actually really serve the community, so that these digital twins should not serve the consortium in itself, but in the wider interdisciplinary sense, the communities that are involved at the work and at those research problems that they're trying to address. I hope that this was ample enough for an answer. I see a second question. Are all kind of research infrastructures facilities be considered in this call, or is there any consideration about the focus on data RIs? This is a research infrastructures call, and this is a research infrastructures part of the work program. So clearly, looking at different kind of data research infrastructures that are emerging or available, It depends a little bit on the problem statement, but I was very much looking at having research infrastructures facilities that actually it's more of a problem statement question than really who are the eligible partners. Because once you have the problem statement, if it's relevant interdisciplinary problem for the research community and research infrastructures in Europe, then you can bring in the data RIs if you want to. But please keep in mind that there is a lot of activities that are for data infrastructures in general, apart from research infrastructures available already, and a lot of funding. So this particular call is of course has to be seen in the framework of the research infrastructures work program. I see then. See a question there. This topic is dealing with an infrastructure looking for the Earth, or could be a scientific infrastructure for other purpose. Yes, of course. Yes, I did mention the destination Earth because already at the conceptual stage of this digital twins topic, the member states and the program committee members already were highlighting that there is the destination Earth, and there is this major development of an earmarked budget of close to 150 million over the next 2 years for this digital twin of the Earth, which is in making. But of course, we are looking at any scientific collaboration that would be necessitated. It can be in any area. It can be in drug development. It can be anything. We don't really highlight that it should be this or that field, as long as the interdisciplinarity is fulfilled and as long as the challenge is defined. Because here, as like in any other area, often in these proposals, you need to have a clear problem statement and you have to be able to define well the challenge in order to be credible. So like in very many areas, there are often a lot of solutions looking for a problem. In this case, like in most of the cases that we would like to fund or we will fund, is we first looking at the problem statement and then looking at the solution that is being proposed in order to address it. So so the area is wider than just earth sciences. The next question is, does interdisciplinarity mean that the several scientific communities should join in a common project? Well, in a way that's implicit. Again, remember that this will go through an evaluation. So your evaluators will be looking at how you're demonstrating the interdisciplinarity in terms of the consortium composition, in terms of your work plan, in terms of the problem statement, and how you're going to get there. So as said, it's not necessarily that all and every community need to be in it, but I would rather doubt the credibility of the proposed project approach if there was no if there were no real sort of direct participation of those communities that you're aiming to serve. Okay. So I'm scrolling down and I don't see any other questions. I'll let you also macerate a little bit if you would have, because we are not really in a hurry. As said, you can always post questions also during when this session is open. We want to be able to answer them afterwards in writing. Okay, there's a question, so I missed the first part. How many projects of digital twins may EC fund? So there, I apologize. In my first slides, I have actually used the template of the previous session, where I have mistakenly left the scope of the funding per project, which is not 3 to 5. We will correct that for the slides that will go online. The correct number is that from the call of 21, for which we have a budget of 28 million, we aim to fund probably maximum 3 projects, because the expected project size is between 9 and 12 million. Evidently, you can come and propose one of 28 million, but you have to be very credible why you need such a budget for developing one digital twin, because because we of course will always look at what is the effort, what is the size and the challenge. And we estimate that for one digital twin of multidisciplinary nature, 9 to 12 million should be enough, particularly because you don't really start from the scratch, but you develop the end product is a level 6-7. The slides will be, of course, put online. With the caveat, I will just correct that first slide with the work program is of course correct there, but the slides have a slight mistake there as per size of the project. So of course, those will be made available. Okay, there is a question: what is the best way of incorporating agile iterative development for this call, bearing in mind that the proposals will follow more of a waterfall approach? Yes, I mean, the way you incorporate agile iterative is a little bit of, again, for the consortium to show that they are knowing their community and that they know how to go back to them and how to also demonstrate the results because of those use cases that have to be embedded in the program plan. How agile do you expect to be? There is agility and agility. It needs to be sufficient in order for the trials and the testing with those communities to come up with meaningful feedback back to the development, so that the final product would be already somewhat developed. And it's up to you to define how many iterative cycles you need, but and it's also in the level of the challenge that you present, because might be that some parts, some kind of challenge, some salary challenges might need several, and it's all really how you present your work plan. So please keep in mind that this project development time, like most of the research infrastructures projects, we are not, even though again we are not really explaining, what is the maximum length of the projects, but we hardly ever go for projects of 5 years duration, because clearly when you're aiming for something relatively operational, 5 years might be a very long time, and the world might have turned around many times in 5 years. So think a little bit also in terms of the length of the project. When can you present something that you can properly go through the iterations and then still have a valid pre-operational prototype at the end of it? I see another question. Is there a separate training for simple NCPs where we could discuss in detail some of the more tricky aspects so that we can explain them to the community? Thank you very much, Mr. Halfer. I am not, since, at the Connect side, we are not in charge of organizing the trainings for the NCP, but this is definitely a question I could take up with the colleagues in the GRTD, who might or might not be online. I'm not sure if they are, to see if there's already something foreseen. I know that for only for the digital twins perspective, there isn't really anything currently foreseen for this, but we might come back to this, and if there's really a need, we might be able to, of course, provide for the NCPs a little bit more detailed explanation on this part of the work program. But this is something I can't really answer, fully confirmatively now. But thank you very much for this remark and also suggestions. So we'll see if we can get this organized. There's still some time left. I think the session runs until, I'm not sure if it runs until 15:15 or until 3:30. We have a session until, yes, I think we should probably close now, because the next...
no more questions.
Yes, there are no more questions, and I can see that our next call topic is starting now. So we might have to close here. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for your questions. And as always, good luck. Thank you very much.